Greetings, beautiful ones. On this video, I want to talk about the ego battle. Okay, we're still in the cocoon phase. All right, and the ego, it's designed for for protection, to protect you. It also gives you the courage to do some things. So we do need the ego for certain activities, in our lives. But in the cocoon phase, when you're doing the inner work, you don't need the ego. I mean, what does it need to protect? Right? Because in this phase, the ego, it feels like, okay, what are we doing? That's not what we're used to doing. We don't usually do this, It feels like it doesn't have anything to do. And that ego can be very stubborn. Okay. So it can cause you to, revert back, to your old ways, because the ego is not used to doing things a different way now. When it doesn't have a reason to protect, it doesn't have a reason to have to put up a defense for anything, in this during this process. It has no reason to give you courage to do anything, because right now you're in a that tranquil space. You're doing that inner work, so you don't need the ego in this moment. And you don't want the ego to distract you, because it will, because it's trying to figure out, what are we doing? This is not how we operate. This is not how we do things. We don't do this. You're at peace and tranquility, and it gets disturbed by that. And sometimes the ego being stubborn like that, it could cut off your receptivity, because it feels like, we don't do this. This is not us. This is not what we do. We're not doing this. That stubbornness can cut off your receptivity, because while you're in this process, you need to be very receptive, very open, very open to change, very open to understanding yourself, and understanding the growth process. You don't need your defense mechanism up for what? You don't need that. There's no judgment, there's no need to protect yourself. There's no need to be on guard. No need to have your defenses up for what? No one's judging you at all. This is your process, right? It's all about you. And I'm not saying kill the ego. I've heard that before. I don't agree with that. But I think that you should be able to utilize the ego when necessary. You see what I'm saying? You don't have to have the ego because all the time, because you need that ego, especially when it comes to somebody trying to bully you or trying to talk crazy to you. Okay, cool. Step in, ego. Let's do this. We don't want to do nothing crazy, because we don't want you to be saying, dang, I shouldn't did that. You know what I mean? So, but during this process, the ego needs to step to the side. It's like, okay, I don't need you right now. And you got to put the ego in check. Like, yeah, I know you've been here with me all my life. And I know we've developed a friendship, a deep connective bond of a lifetime, but right now, I don't need you. Let the ego know, I'm not getting rid of you, because you are a part of who I am. But when it comes to this process of growth and evolution, and me getting out of my own way, because the ego has a lot to do with that too. The ego needs to step aside for a little while. Take a break. Ego, take a break. You know, just chill out. You know, and I do want to say this again, you know, during this process, there's no judgment. This is a no judgment zone, because who's there to judge you? It's no judgment. So ego, I don't need you at the moment. We got to put our egos in check and know when to utilize them. So, yeah, I just wanted to talk about that ego, because that ego can be a trip. It can. You like I said, during this process, you have to be receptive and open to change and open to different things, being open to hear different things and see different things and feel different things. Ego, want to buck up, but like, nah, I ain't feeling that. I'm not doing that. We don't feel like that. We don't hurt. We don't this. We don't cry. These are certain things that we don't do. The ego has this a list of things. You know what I'm saying? We do this. We don't do that. And it's like, no, wait a minute. Let's just see. Let's investigate who we are. Let me see what life is like without you, just for a little while, because you want to be able to get to that inner core of yourself. It's like, like I said, it's about that. It's about the inner work. It's about the inner work. So, yeah. So my challenge to you in this video is to quiet the ego for a little while. Just quiet the ego and trust yourself, and trust that you'll be okay without it. You'll be okay without it. You will. Yep. So that's it. That's all for this video. Okay. So I will see you in the next video. Until then, peace. And I love y'all.